Right now inside Apple's Cupertino campus, engineers are testing a pair of glasses weighing under 50 grams. Premium acetate frame, slim temples, dual cameras tucked into the corners, spatial audio built into the arms, and a custom Apple chip handling all sensor input while heavier AI processing is pushed to the iPhone. No display in the first version, no visible AR layer, just glasses designed to understand what you're looking at in real time. This is Apple's quiet push towards something that could eventually replace how we use smartphones. Back in 2016, most people didn't pay much attention when Tim Cook said augmented reality would be as necessary to our lives as eating 3 meals a day. Honestly, the whole idea sounded over the top. At that point, AR was the kind of thing you messed around with just for kicks. Maybe you tried out some app that put a cartoon on your coffee table or snapped a selfie with a fun filter. There weren't any real products, or reasons to think regular people would ever care. But Apple was looking way down the road. While everyone else rolled their eyes at AR, Apple started treating it like the next operating system. They figured it was only a matter of time before screens mattered less than what sits around you. Instead of poking at flat rectangles, you'd be reaching for information in your living room. Their first real move came in 2017, ARKit. On paper, it was just a set of tools for developers. In practice, it turned millions of iPhones into AR scanners, giving people access to motion tracking and real-world mapping. So when you put a digital coffee cup on your desk or played some AR game, Apple was right there, quietly gathering a mountain of data on how people fit digital stuff into the real world. Behind closed doors, Apple started picking up all kinds of companies, teams working on eye tracking, motion sensors, and display tech to make holograms float in front of your eyes. One that stood out was Iconia Holographics. They were serious about projecting images directly onto lenses. But really, the most important thing about those years wasn't the tech. It was Apple's mindset. Instead of obsessing over gadgets, they started thinking bigger, about how computing could blend right into the environment. You wouldn't just look at a device. The device would kind of fade away, and your world would become the interface. That change, that's what started everything. While most companies raced to put out some kind of AR glasses, Apple played a longer game. They just kept building, silently, letting everyone else make mistakes and soak up the headlines. Google, Meta, Snap, they all tried to crack the AR glasses problem. Most ran into the same roadblocks. Stuff was too heavy, batteries died fast, people felt weird wearing them in public. Apple watched all of it. Inside Apple, AR was never just another gadget. It was the start of a long-term shift. Every buyout, software update, or prototype fed into this strategy that wasn't about being first. They wanted to be thorough, so that when Apple finally showed up, it'd feel obvious, not experimental. That's classic Apple. They didn't invent smartphones or tablets or smartwatches, but they waited for the right moment. Meta went all in on smart glasses for consumers, but Apple stayed heads down on the tough problems: how to process sensor data without lag, how to do real spatial computing, how to make custom chips and blend in AI. Apple Intelligence was the real endgame. When Apple finally showed off Vision Pro in 2024, the world split into two camps. Some people lost their minds over it, others just shook their heads and pointed at the $3,499 price tag. Critics called it a flop, but honestly, they were missing the point. Vision Pro was never meant to be the iPhone for this new era. It's more like NASA's Apollo test flights, something built for gathering data and figuring out what works. Everything about it is Apple experimenting with how people navigate digital stuff floating all around, instead of stuck inside a screen. And yeah, the sales numbers weren't wild. Apple wasn't even chasing big sales. What they wanted was feedback. Every time someone poked at an app or dragged a window in the air, that was another data point about what's intuitive, what's annoying, and what'll stick in the next version. Bigger than that, Vision Pro let developers get their hands on this new world. Vision Pro is about planting the seeds, letting developers figure out what works in spatial computing. People also misunderstood its place in the roadmap. Everyone expected Vision Pro to be the final vision. It's not, it's a bridge. If you look around at the reports, Apple's already taking what they've learned and building lighter, more comfortable devices. Glasses, not goggles. Stuff you actually want to wear. So, no, Vision Pro wasn't a stumble. It's the foundation. Apple's doing the hard, slow, necessary work. They're laying the groundwork for the day when AR finally disappears into the background. Quick moment here. If this kind of topic interests you, you can subscribe. We keep track of emerging tech as it moves from idea to product. Apple's Vision Glass isn't about blowing people away with crazy features. Apple's dialing everything down. Keep it simple, make it usable, and actually get people to wear the thing. The most surprising thing, no full display system. Think, no waveguides, no floating interfaces, no constant holograms in your vision. At first, this feels underwhelming. but honestly, it's a calculated move. Every past attempt at wearable computing tanked because they tried to bite off too much. More features, more bulk, less comfort. Apple sees all-day comfort as the real mountain to climb, not just tech specs. Picture this. You're walking in a new city, and the glasses whisper a translation of street signs. You pause at a restaurant, and you quietly hear reviews. You get reminders based on what you're looking at, no need to ever pull out your phone. It's not a screen. It's more like a real-time interpreter, layered between you and the world. To pull this off, Apple's relying on the iPhone to do the heavy lifting. The glasses just sense, the phone does the thinking. That's how the first Apple Watch worked, and it made the experience smooth and convenient right from the start. This strategy tackles 3 big headaches: battery life, heat, and weight. Plus, day one, it's already blended into Apple's full ecosystem. But there's even more. Apple isn't just selling a product. They're prepping society for a change, getting people used to tech on their faces before going all in. If you strip Vision Glass to its core, it's a simple idea: make the tech invisible and the intelligence everywhere. The design packs ultra-lightweight materials, custom silicon, multiple cameras, spatial audio, and AI smarts into a frame that's almost as light as regular glasses. These glasses will probably use a dual camera setup. One camera grabs high-res photos and video. The other is all about computer vision, constantly watching and analyzing what's around you in real time. It knows where you are, what you're looking at, and keeps track of your environment. Combine that with Apple's AI, and now the glasses can see what you see and react instantly. Audio is a big part of this too. Rather than cramming info onto a screen, Vision Glass uses tiny speakers tucked into the frame, so sound is private and spatially accurate. You talk, it listens. Maybe you gesture or just look a certain way, and it responds. To keep things cool and light, Apple spreads out the processing. A lightweight chip in the glasses does simple tasks. The iPhone takes care of serious AI work. That way, the glasses don't get hot or heavy. They're even experimenting with cooling the frame itself, moving heat away from your temples and eyes, using the glasses' body as part of the solution. Looks matter too. Apple plans to offer different styles, so they actually look like premium glasses, not some wild gadget. That's crucial. If these look weird, nobody's going to wear them. For years, digital assistants lived behind screens, waiting for you to type or speak before they did anything. Even now, with Siri, Alexa, or Google Assistant, they never really grasp what's right in front of you. They can listen, sure, but they can't actually see your world. Vision Glass wants to change that. The leap isn't just better AI, it's a new kind of intelligence, one that pays attention to your environment all the time. Instead of you asking questions, the assistant just figures out what you're doing. Or you're in a city for the first time. Foreign street signs, instantly translated, floating in front of you. Directions, whispered in your ear, hands-free. Not sure what building you're gawking at? The landmark gets named before you even speak. The whole environment starts to make sense, almost like reality itself got subtitles. The assistant doesn't just sit there waiting for commands. Maybe you stand outside a building, and your calendar pops up because it knows you've got a meeting inside. Now, the system acts as a silent mind reader, picking up on what you want simply because it's paying attention to how you look at the world. This is all possible because of multimodal AI. Instead of only processing text or voice, it combines everything, the way you see, what you say, and where you are, into one brain that understands your surroundings. Once you get used to an assistant that just gets your surroundings, you stop thinking about asking for info. It just arrives when you need it. That flips the idea of computing on its head. No more input, output. Now it's perception and interpretation. Vision Glass on its own would already be a big deal. But Apple's real strength isn't just building one shiny gadget, it's weaving everything together. Vision Glass slots right into this web as the final missing sense. Your iPhone does the heavy thinking. Apple Watch grabs your vitals and movement. AirPods deliver precise audio. Macs keep your workflow going. Vision Glass? It's the real-time bridge between you and the physical world. Together, all these bits create a feedback loop. You wake up, slip on the glasses, they know where you are instantly. Calendar events are already layered over your environment. Messages are summarized for you, no prompts needed. Navigation starts by itself the second you head out the door. Notifications sort themselves based on what you're up to and what matters most. Now, competitors like Meta, Google, or Microsoft can make pieces of this picture. Glasses, models, maybe some AR tools. But none of them run the whole show on consumer hardware the way Apple does. Other companies try to trap you in an ecosystem. Apple turns it into something seamless. Apple's secret weapon is it doesn't replace devices. It puts them in new places, changes what they mean, and quietly transforms how you use technology day to day. The toughest barrier for smart glasses isn't technical, it's personal. It's about how people feel. Wearables, especially the kind you put on your face, have a fashion problem. A phone can hide in your pocket, a smartwatch lives under your sleeve, but glasses? They're right out front, part of your face, part of your identity. Time and again, this has been the stumbling block. Google Glass worked well, but everyone felt awkward. People worried about hidden cameras. Wearers got called glass holes. It became a punchline. Meta tried to fix that by partnering with Ray-Ban. They made the glasses look normal, like something you'd actually pick for sunglasses, and it worked. People felt less weird, and the idea started to catch on. That lesson? Smart glasses have to pass the mirror test before they become tech products. Vision Glass follows the same script. Nothing too sci-fi. Just nice, premium glasses that wouldn't look out of place anywhere. The idea is to convince people they're wearing high-end glasses, not a computer. Because how something feels on your face shapes whether you'll wear it at all. If wearing smart glasses makes you feel awkward or watched, the whole category crashes before it starts. But if the glasses just feel like glasses, tech blends in with the rest of your life. There's still one big issue left: privacy. People get nervous about face cameras and sensors that never turn off. The idea that you could be recording everything is a hard sell. Apple's answer will almost certainly involve bright status lights, all processing done right on the device, and very clear controls for users. Because if people don't trust the product, they won't wear the product. And the only company that really wins the race to smart glasses won't necessarily be the first with a working prototype. It'll be the one people actually want to wear, out in the real world. Apple doesn't play by the usual rules. It never dives in first, never fights for attention just to be there early. Apple waits, watches the competition carve a path, and then shows up with something sturdier and cleaner than what anyone else has tried. When you stack it up against Meta, Apple's real advantage isn't one shiny piece of hardware or a flashy feature. It's the seamless integration of everything. Meta is out here making smart glasses as a new gadget, hoping people will see the charm of a device that stands alone. Apple? It's building smart glasses to plug right into a network it's been weaving for years. Meta needs to persuade people to pick up yet another device. Apple doesn't. Its users are already swimming in its ecosystem. iPhones, Apple Watches, AirPods, Macs, iCloud, all talking to each other in the background. Vision Glass is just the newest surface to that connected world. Apple sees how you move between your devices. It knows your routines, your texts and calls, where you like to go, and what apps you tend to use. Apple's also got full control: hardware, software, even the chips inside. That means it can tweak and fine-tune everything, from battery life to the speed of its sensors and how fast the AI thinks. Everyone gets excited about smart glasses, but under all the buzz, the engineering headaches are real and tougher than most people imagine. First up, physical space. Every millimeter matters. You start adding battery, lenses, more sensors, you pay for it somewhere else, usually in weight or comfort. Latency comes after that. The glasses have to see and react to what's happening right now. If they lag even for a split second, the feeling of magic just vanishes. Power's a pain too. The kind of AI that sees your world eats up power at an insane rate. If you want glasses to last all day and keep up, you have to find every way to save power you can. And on top of everything, there's the human side. Glasses don't perch on an arm or sit in a pocket. They rest on delicate skin, over your ears and nose. These spots are sensitive to pressure, weight, and heat. Something that feels okay for a couple minutes can start to hurt after an hour. That's why real, comfortable, all-day AR glasses are still rare. The problems aren't just tech, they're about biology and comfort. Meta's move in smart glasses is a lot bigger than folks think. Everyone knows Apple likes to build ecosystems and play the long game. Meta? It's been handling the dirty work, getting people used to the idea of techie glasses. With Ray-Ban smart glasses, Meta basically snuck cameras, AI helpers, and voice controls onto millions of faces without the world freaking out too much. The design just looks like regular glasses, no dorky headsets. That alone broke down a psychological wall. Remember earlier smart glasses? They felt awkward, almost creepy, more about being watched than empowered. Now, that vibe is shifting. Glasses that see and hear for you are starting to feel, well, kind of normal. In a way, Meta's greatest innovation here isn't a product feature, it's normalization. But that doesn't guarantee they stay ahead. That just opens the door. Apple's famous for swooping in right when a product category is about to go big, but not before someone else has convinced the world it's worth having. MP3 players were out for years before Apple dropped the iPod. Smartphones existed before the iPhone. What Apple does best is take what's rough and raw and turn it into something everybody suddenly wants. So maybe Meta looks like the trailblazer now. People will actually wear smart glasses, that it's not just a wacky idea. So did Meta just tee things up for Apple? Did they handle the hard work of getting everyone ready so that Apple can walk in and serve the main course? Maybe not today, but if you look back, that's how these stories usually unfold. Meta made smart glasses seem normal, and Apple, if history repeats itself, could be the one to make them mainstream. This isn't going to happen overnight. It's slow. Device by device, software update by software update, small moments piling up. But at some point, it'll tip, and it'll feel like there was never any other way. Not because Apple guessed the future, but because they built it, piece by piece.